I'm going to say that I was elated to be advised that I won the award. Totally shocked and surprised and honored. And I would say that I received the award for diversity and inclusion because I'd like to think in many ways I personify what the Bahamas is as an IFC. We are very diverse in terms of the stakeholders, the experts who actually make things happen in the jurisdiction. It's a mix of local, it's a mix of international persons. Females hold very senior positions within organizations here in the Bahamas. You will find a number of the top financial institutions headed by women. And I think as a jurisdiction, we have been welcoming to persons from other countries, be it for foreign direct investment, be it for setting up financial institutions, or certainly just, meeting their needs, their financial services needs. So the Bahamas is a diverse and inclusive jurisdiction, and I have the good fortune of going about and sharing that message and informing people of what we offer. So I guess I represent the jurisdiction, and that's why I received this award. So a lot of what we do here at BFSB really hinges on two things: advocacy and certainly ensuring that people are aware of what is going on in the jurisdiction. At the end of 2022, we actually undertook a survey of our members and of key stakeholders and leaders in the sector as to what they felt were the top areas for growth, areas where we might want to stretch and improve our enablers. And so a part of what I will be doing will be engaging with policymakers from an informed position and as a voice for industry to strengthen the enablers. Some of the things that we want to see is increased improvement in the ease of doing business. We want this to be a place where people come and they get service efficiently. And so I'll be advocating for that. We do a pretty good job now, but I believe there's always room for improvement. So ease of doing business remains a priority. In addition to that, our members have asked for us to articulate our position on permanent residency. At the moment, you can invest in real estate up to at a minimum of $750,000 and qualify for permanent residency in the Bahamas. And there's a view that we should consider expanding the offerings for permanent residency. So I'll be looking at some policy action pieces to really go after our policymakers to see if they can work on those. That's the first thing. In terms of the top areas for growth that my members identified, trust and fiduciary services remains top of mind. Investment funds as well as family offices. And so to the extent that we continue to see growth in those areas, we want people to know that this is the place to come for those particular services. If you're thinking about relocating, the Bahamas is the place that should be top of mind. We have pedigree over 80 years when it comes to provision of fiduciary services. And so again, we want to make sure that that remains clear. So focusing on growth and focusing on improving the enabling environment. So the digital asset space, I believe, remains an area for growth. When we reached out to our members in our end of year survey, which was taken around the time that lots was going on in the digital asset space, the responses indicated that this was an area where they saw opportunity for growth. While it was not in one of the top 3 categories for growth, it was listed as an area. And I think it's because we have to acknowledge that the Bahamas was one of the first countries in the world to put a regulatory framework in place for digital assets business. And people still want certainty. And so the DARE Act provides a platform for businesses to have certainty when they are in that space. And so we like to say that we have a diverse toolkit, and one element of that toolkit It's going to be digital assets business. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I do believe that we will see some revision in our regulatory framework. The central bank recently issued digital assets business guidelines with a view to saying if you're a financial institution interacting with digital assets businesses, these are some of the protocols that you should have in place. So I think a focus on enhancing the regulatory framework is inevitable, but it is an element in the toolkit that is still viable and attractive to some people.
Where are you doing business? Where are you finding, which jurisdictions or other countries are you finding are coming to the Bahamas for a base? Where are you finding the most growth?
Okay, so as always, it appears as if socioeconomic and political issues in some LATAM countries drives individuals and entities to look for safe harbor, so to speak, for their assets. And so the Bahamas remains attractive for persons from the LATAM region. We find that many individuals are considering relocating here. We're very near to the US, so if it's a family relocating, the parents might decide that they want the Bahamas to be the base while their college-age children are in university in the US. This is a great place to be. So we see a lot of family offices. There are some opportunities in the fund space that appeals to the LATAM market as well. So I would say heavily focused there, while there is also some business out of the US as well. The Bahamas, like I said, fiduciary services is a key element of the toolkit. So asset protection trust remains attractive for US clients. But generally, when you speak to people, there is still some business coming out of Europe. But a lot of it is being driven by people who want to relocate. There's no better place to live, work, or play than the Bahamas. And so we see a lot of people choosing to make this home physically, but also for their financial services.